Peace process in the DRC. Kenya has and will continue to play a constructive and impartial role and reiterates its full support for ongoing regional efforts to pacify Eastern DRC under the African Union mediators, as well as the ongoing international efforts in Doha and Washington. Kenya has consistently supported peace and stability in the Democratic Republic of Congo, notably through the Nairobi Peace Process, a comprehensive regional initiative launched under the auspices of the East African Community. More recently, President William Ruto, in his capacity as the chair of the EAC, has actively been involved in facilitating the joint EAC South African Development Community SADC initiative. Remember, it's now one merged process under the African Union. The situation in Sudan remains dire, and the country risks being fragmented. Kenya calls on both sides of the divide to an immediate and unconditional ceasefire and a return to the negotiating table, because only dialogue can resolve the conflict. Kenya also supports regional efforts led by the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, the IGAD, and the African Union, which recently appointed President Museveni as the mediator for the Sudan conflict, as well as international efforts by the Quad, comprising the United States of America, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, and the ongoing work by Ramtane Lamara, the United Nations Secretary General's personal envoy to Sudan. Kenya will continue to stand ready to contribute in any way towards the realization of peace in Sudan. People tend to forget that here in Nairobi, President Ruto had direct communication with both Burhan and Hemeti. He did not favor any side. But for some reason, there's always a deliberate effort to distort the facts. Kenya stands for one Sudan and a peaceful Sudan. The situation in South Sudan. Kenya remains seized of the situation in South Sudan and is exploring several options for jump-starting talks in the country with a view to achieving a sustainable peace. IGAD, the African Union, and the United Nations have warned of potential collapse of the revitalized agreement for resolution of conflict in South Sudan. Agreement, if corrective measures are not urgently taken. Implementation of this peace agreement remains slow, and political mistrust, security violations, and delayed unification of forces, dialogue mechanisms, including the Tumaini Initiative, remain frozen.